Jai Janendra, everyone. Welcome back to this second lecture of the second module of the topic Four States of Existence. In the previous modules, which we had months back, we discussed about the basic information about Chargati. In the second module, the first lecture of the second module, the last lecture which we had, we discussed about the Naragati specifically. And we have invited Sayam Bhaiya here for as an expert for this topic who have been taking this discussion ahead today. And he has previously taken many references from many gathas, many sutra. So yeah, it's a very informative session it was. And today we will be discussing about Tiryanch Gati, the second Gati, and this is lecture 2 of module 2. Before I hand over the mic to Sayam Bhaiya, I wanted to quickly brief you all about Jeev portal. Jeev is Jain English Education and Values. It's a beautiful portal designed specifically in English language to promote Jainism. So whatever you have learned through scriptures, through Balbodh, through several other pustak, which have been a part of the curriculum of different Vidyalaya, different Tirthadhams. So here we have converted everything into a proper design format to get the essence of Jainism in English. To give more information about this, you have to wait till the end of the lecture. Now, over to you, Sambhya, to start the lecture. Lecture 2 of Module 2, Four States of Existence. Over to you.
Thank you, Harshit. Let's start with the Mangalacharan. इस भव तरु का मूल एक जानहु मिथ्या भाव ताको कर निर्मूल अब करिए मोक्ष उपाय. We all know that the only basic reason for our unhappiness, incompetence, unachievement is moha. And once we realize that, we start to follow a path which can lead us to happiness, to achievement, to completeness, to sarvagyata, to bhagavanta. In the series of this particular understanding, we are discussing today the topic which is called as Tiryanch Gati. And we had discussed about the nature of Tiryanch Gati, the types of Jeev in Tiryanch Gati. Today we shall discuss the miseries which are found in Tiryanch Gati. All right, I have chosen Bhagavati Aradhana as the base source text for this particular topic. In Bhagavati Aradhana, from Gatha number 1590 to Gatha number 1596, Tiryanch Gati's miseries are discussed well, and we are going to discuss from that particular aspect. And then, if time permits, we'll discuss something from Chedhala as well. All right. You'll get to know the basic sources of Chedhala as well. Usually, my agenda with Dukh and with Char Gati ke Dukh is that we all know the lines of Chedhala and everything, but then we really don't know the basic source of Chedhala. I am extremely astonished by the fact that Daulat Ramji, the writer of Chedhala, was a person who used to study and remember gathas, at least 40 to 50 gathas every day. And he has been doing this continuously for around 30, 40 years. So you can imagine the kind of content he had and the kind of base information he had. And then when he processed that information, he gave birth to Chedhala. So we should all know this, that Chedhala's every word, every syllable, every preposition, every conjugation, everything has a basic source, and it has come from the acharyas and their words. Every nook and corner of Chedhala is filled with it. All right. So Tiryanch Gati, to name the type of jeeves that exist in Tiryanch Gati is एक इंद्रिय, दो इंद्रिय, तीन इंद्रिय, Charindriya, Panchendriya. Ekendriya are divided into five types, which is Prithvi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, Vanaspati. Vanaspati is further divided into two types. One is Sadharan and the other one is Pratyek. Sadharan Vanaspati is then bifurcated into Nitya Nigod, Itar Nigod, and um, Pratyek Vanaspati is then bifurcated into Sapratisht and Apratisht. Mm. Now going to Doindriya, Tinindriya, Charindriya, Panchendriya. Panchendriya is then divided into two, which is Sangi and Asangi. Now we shall discuss a little about these places and the kind of advantages and disadvantages these places have over their consciousness. Jeev is basically understood from the perspective of consciousness. Now, actual translation to consciousness cannot be upayog only because upayog has very many ways to look at it. Like upayog is darshana upayog also. Upayog is jnana upayog also. Darshana upayog is not basic consciousness because you never know the working of darshana upayog. Similar goes with jnana upayog as well. Like avagraha, iha, you're never very sure about when and to what extent that these things are working in your consciousness, but then these are continuously working. But we have no other option. When it comes to language, there is a big problem that you cannot translate the exact word into various different translations in different languages. But what to do? All right. So we'll discuss about every Gati's Dukh afterwards. Let's just read the gathas from Bhagavati Aradhana and discuss a little. Tiriya Gadim Manupatto Bhima Mahavedana Ula Ulamaparam Janman Marana Rahatta Anant Khutto Parigado Jam. Tiryanch Gati, after gaining or attaining Tiryanch Gati, Jeev uh, mm, experiences extreme amount of miseries. Mahavedana, ulamaparam, extreme amount of dukh is found there. Now the first one is janam marana rahattam. uh, Janm and Maran, they continuously happen. Kutto, Anant times Parigadojam, wherein a person lives and, it's called Nigodia Jeev. Nigodia Jeev, or actually not Nigodia Jeev, but Labdhya Paryaptak Jeev. Labdhya Paryaptak Jeev can be Nigodia, they can be Ekendriya, Doindriya, Tinindriya, Charindriya, Sangi, Asangi, Panchendriya. Everybody can be Labdhya Paryaptak Jeev. Now, these Labdhya Paryaptak Jeev are like, in one breath, they 18 times they take birth and die. And so we can understand that a continuous chain of living and death is going on there, and which is a very troublesome activity. Okay. Next, Gatha says Tadana, Tasana, Bandhana, Vahana, Lanchana, Videhana, Vihedana, Kannachedana, Nasa Vehana, Nillanchanam, Damanam, Cheva. So there are other types of miseries to be found in Nigodia, in Tiryanch Gati's Jeev. So Taran. Taran means to be beaten. Tasan is to intimidate or terrorize. Bandhan. Bandhan means bondage. Vahan means to forcefully carry. Lanchan means to demark something or to brand something. This particular animal is my brand. So, generally, I am able to remember a few movies. If you remember a movie, it is called, it's a movie of Vidya Balan and Imran Khan, I guess. Um, I'm forgetting the name of the movie. In that movie, Vidya Balan was demarked, and her husband's name was mentioned in her hand. And the whole movie was revolving around this particular aspect that, ownership of the body has become a big part of our lives. And this is basically, this used to happen in animals as well. You must have seen different utensils in your house, and where every utensil has a name of your family, maybe the head of the family, or maybe the surname of the family, or maybe just the name or something. Some demarcation happens. So this usually used to happen with, if it is happening with non-living things, it's completely okay. Okay means it's only okay, just for a demarcation that, the utensils do not get mixed. But then doing that with animals and doing that with your wife, your kids, and people around you is really slavery. But this happens with them. Then we we means mutilation, disfiguring a particular animal just because it is useless or something is not working. Daman, oppressing them. Kanna chedan, ear cutting. Nasa vehan, nose piercing. Nillanchanam means castration. Castration means बीज को ही नाश कर देना, means the basic root is being destroyed. छेदन, to cut something. भेदन, to pierce. दहन, to burn. निपीलन means to crush. So that way all these things happen with the Tiryanch Gati Jeev, which is really a very bad aspect. That's a very bad thing when it happens with, which happens with them. छेदन, भेदन, दहन, निपीलन, गालन, छुहातन. Uh, Chuha means thirst. Hunger. Tanha means thirst. Bhakkana, the other animals, they kill them. Maddana, mardana, to suppress something. Malana, to, need, to kind of a needing a door kind of a thing. Ivakattan, vakattan. Vakattan means vartan karna. Seed undham cha. Jam अत्ताणो निप्पडि यम्मो बहुवेदनुद्दियो पडियो बहुएहि भदो दिवसेहि चडप्पडन्तो अनाहो तम. So nobody can save them. कोई रक्षक नहीं है उनका. Nobody can, take away their misery, their kasht, their pida. Nobody can take it away. Many days they go away without, somebody giving them food, somebody caring for them. So Maya Chari takes you to Tiryanch Gati. This is true. Maya Teregyo Nasya. But then why does somebody do Maya Chari? Just because they are not accepted. There is no Nath for them. There is no Swami for them. There is no person who owns them or accepts them or understands them. And so a person starts to, do Mayachari. So kapati व्यक्ति तब बन जाता है जब उसे accept नहीं किया जाता. Now this is a fact which goes long from a perspective. You can understand this in your life as well, that, you might never have shared a few things about yourself to anybody. And that is my achari. You have never shared a lot of secrets about you, about your sex life, about your personal life, about your life with, people around you. Why have you not shared about it? Because uh, taking ownership of such things is considered bad. People are going to make fun of you. People do not accept it. Taking onus of such things is considered bad. If you are marrying into an intercaste marriage and you have a very conservative family, you're definitely going to have a very difficult life, and hence Mayachari comes into existence. So Maya Taryagyonasya happens to those people who have been living a life where they are not able to accept whatever they are doing. And hence, Tiryanch Gati is a place where they live a life where the onus is left. Deen anath hokar ke, people live and die. Uh, Animals live and die. Rogao vivihao tahaya nitya bhayam cha sabbatto. Many they are accustomed to many diseases. Nitya bhayam cha sabbatto. And everywhere they are always fearful, extremely fearful. Tivvao, vedanao, dhadan padabhi ghadado. So their legs are cut. You remember, there is a particular nal thokna, it's called. Nal thokna is like, piercing the feet of animals and putting their, some iron metals or particular such things. And this is why whenever a horse walks, there is a sound of tuck 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 tuck. So it's like that. Now, if I take analogous to this, people who have a very lavish life, people who think that wherever they walk, everybody should feel their presence. Whenever they stilettos of women, they do not wear anything else other than stilettos, even if their feet are getting dismembered, even if there are a lot of trouble going on with them, still they are not going to wear anything else other than stilettos. Why? Because it is a status symbol. Now, the status symbol and everything is nothing more than making yourself a slave, making yourself a tiryanch, and hence such kind of you know miseries are found in Tiryanch Gati's Jeev. Dhadana padabhighadato. So for a very long duration of time, they are neglected. They are in extreme pain given by us humans. Suvihiya adid kale anant kayam tume adi gadena. So from a very long duration of time, we had been living into the Nigodya life, and after that, Anant Kai Jeev we became. So it's like Sadharan Vanaspati. Jammana, Marana, Anantam, Anant Khuttam, Samanubhudo. So Janm and Maran, the pains of being born and dying are all there, and we have experienced them, infinite number of times. The fact is, we don't remember anything, and hence we think that, today is a very important day. Today is a great life. Motivational speakers are going to tell you that, today is the greatest day of your life. What greatest day of your life? You have had such days since eternity. You have had such lives since eternity. But the only thing which we have never understood is, us, our existence beyond the present circumstances, beyond the present situations, beyond the present understanding. So that way, if you are motivated towards understanding your eternal nature, then I consider that motivation to have some substance into it. Else, it's really not motivation. Helping people to achieve their passions, helping people to achieve their goals in the name of passions, it's a very delineating thing. It's a very bad and degrading thing for us. एक बार तुम आईएएस बन जाओ, लाइफ तुम्हारी सेट हो जाएगी. This really doesn't happen. एक बार तुम सीए बन जाओ, एक बार डॉक्टर बन जाओ. At least now, today's generation is never going to accept it in this way, that if you achieve a particular thing, you get it, because we have seen our fathers, our brothers, our elder brothers, our grandfathers being soldiers, being CAs, being doctors, and everything. And yet there are so many miseries left over with us. Okay, let's go to the last gatha of this particular segment in Bhagavati Aradhana. Chavamadi Dukkham. So, uh, like these, there are a lot of miseries, lot of pains. Ananta Khuttam, infinite number of times. Pirikha Joniye. Pirikha Yoniye. Pirikha Yoniyam. So, in the Tirik Yoni, we have had, infinite number of pains and miseries. Jam pattosi adide kalam chitte hitam sabvam. So, oh, great human being, you have attained such a nice uh, realm, such a nice human form, and you are taking an oath to become a sadhu. So, you're doing a very good job. But remember that you had a very bad and a dusty past, and it can get repeated. So, take this particular oath. So, take this particular acceptance in yourself that you have had such a thing in your life. And once you understand that, you will motivate yourself for becoming better, to know the real soul, to know the real self, and hence you can come out of it. So that way, very many different kinds of miseries are discussed. You can basically categorize all these miseries into, some 3 4 sections. The first segment is the physical violence and external torture. So it can be beating, terrorizing, bondage, forceful piercing, ear cutting, nose piercing. It can be disfigurement, it can be subjugation, it can be castration, cutting, piercing, crushing, etc. Second is bodily decay or consumption. So rotting, devouring, being eaten by somebody, then trampling, being crushed, dismemberment, or something like that. Then the natural and biological sufferings like extreme amount of cold, extreme heat, thirst, and hunger, even that are found there. And then there are existential and situational sufferings as well. Like at a particular point, animals become helpless, defenseless, unable to resist or remedy a particular situation, intense agony, in such a pain that they are withered. Matlab, it's a very difficult situation. Then chronic situations are also discussed here, like many diseases and constant constant nag towards fear and being killed or being judged or being something like that. Beating and kicking injuries and such things also constantly happen with them. Now, the cyclic sufferings are birth and death. So that way we can count at least 32, 33 different kinds of miseries that are found in Tiryanch Gati's Jeev. So that way we have discussed a little about the miseries which are found in the Tiryanch Gati. Uh, uh, to a very greater extent, it's a point that when we live a life where acceptance is difficult, when we live a life when we think that if I'm going to do this, people are going to judge me, like a life of कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे लोगों का काम है कहना. So to them Acharya is saying that छोड़ो बेकार की बातों में, um, कहीं बीत न जाए ये ह्यूमन रहना. कहीं ये मनुष्य का जीवन सिर्फ उन्हीं उन्हीं बातों में बीत जाए. So to keep secrets, to have a life where we are extremely annulled, we are extremely feared, and we hence do not live a healthy, happy life. The only reason because this happens is it's a very difficult. Matlab, we have made that particular thing. We have psyched ourselves that it's a very difficult thing. If I'm going to tell this, it's going to be difficult. If I'm going to talk about it, it's going to be difficult. So that way, it's a. Uh, these are all things which happen with animals, and hence animal form is a form where they are judged, they are manipulated, they are naive, and they try to. I'm not only talking about those helpless beings like a cow or a hen or a. I'm talking about lions, leopards. Uh, Even they have such a situation that they are also in the same constant fear of secretiveness. Um, this secretive capability understanding in our life is a big reason why we might land to Tiryanch Gati also. So that way it's a difficult thing. But what do you think? There are a lot of perks of being a Tiryanch as well. Have you not seen dogs? Have you not seen chihuahuas? The kind of lavishing life, German shepherds, the kind of great pampered life that these kind of animals have. So, if you think that being a Tiryanch is bad, you have very different and other examples as well in front of you, which tell us that it's not that bad at all. But majorly speaking, we know that it's a very difficult thing for do indriya, teen indriya, char indriya. Only Sanghi Panchendriya, they might have a very lavish or a better life. But with others, it's a very difficult thing. Now, coming back to the miseries, now we've discussed very common and very, to an extent, very gross miseries of Tiryanch. Let's talk about miseries in a hierarchical order. So, uh, why am I talking about a hierarchical order? Because if there are some miseries in the top level, they're going to be there in the bottom level also. Like when it comes to a Sangi Panchendriya Tiryanch. Now, the kind of miseries they have is one is Jati Smaran. They have had a very difficult past, and because of that difficult past, they really cannot come out of it, and hence their mind is stuck at a particular point, and hence they don't want to come out of it. One. Second is they cannot attain Samyak Darshan. They cannot understand themselves. So they have the capability, but then a lot of them they choose not to get it. Do you know how many Samyak Drishtis are there in Tiryanch? Asankhyat Samyak Drishtis are there in Tiryanch. Asankhyat means countless number of Samyak Drishtis are there in Tiryanch. Despite the fact their life could be very difficult. So, in general, we think that being a Samyak Drishti is to have a very wonderful life, to have a very wonderful surrounding, to be praised, to be loved by everybody. That's not the case with everybody. This never happened with Mahavir. Why do you think that this is going to happen with you as a human or a Tiryanch? So even Bhagwan Mahavir, after attaining 13th Gunasthan, he was roaming around the whole pan India. Yet there were Buddha, there were other Hindu monks, there were other people, there were other Shramanic traditions who never accepted Mahavir. They mocked him, they delineated him, they considered him bad. So it's a myth that after being Samyak Drishti, your life is going to be good. People are going to be wonderful to you. Your life is going to be, great. That's a complete myth. That really doesn't happen. So is the case with Tiryanch as well. So there are countless number of Samyak Drishtis there, but equally there are, Anant Jeev, which are not Samyak Drishti, did not have Samyak Darshan, do not have the capability to take Samyak Darshan in Tiryanch as well. Okay, so this is the miseries of the top level, or those who have man with them, the miseries of them. They cannot attain Samyak Darshan. They are stuck in their mind at a particular point, and they do not want to come out of it. The situations they completely badger around the situations. They constantly nag about a bad life, bad people, bad structures in their life. So that is that. Now come to Asangi Panchendri. Asangi Panchendriya, they have very similar capabilities to Sangi Panchendriya, but they just don't have a heart or man for that matter. So if they do not have man, they cannot process things, they cannot come out of their situations, and hence the greatest misery to them is not being able to understand what is happening with them. Right? So with man, we can understand what is good for us, what is bad for us, what is right, what is wrong. But without man, it is really not possible, and hence the situations and the sensory organs are the only things which play with us. So if there is a bad environment, bad weather, I'm constantly going to feel bad about it. I do not have man to understand that, oh, this is a temporary thing, or maybe, this doesn't affect me because I am Jeev, and these are affecting my body. This doesn't happen with Asangi Jeev. So that way, going down the thing, so Charindriya Jeev, they cannot listen to things, they cannot listen to Upadesh, they cannot understand or contemplate words in that way. Then Teen Indriya Jeev, they do not have eyes, so they cannot see. The things go very limited with them. Again, those with Do Indriya Jeev, they cannot even smell things. Forget about listening or seeing. And Ekendriya Jeev, they cannot do anything other than Sparshan Indriya. So, we can understand the miseries of movable things. To a gross extent, we can understand the miseries of movable things. Why? Because they move around and tell us that they had a problem with this particular thing, so they shifted to a particular other thing. But what happens with the sthir things, thavar jeev? So, what are the miseries of a plant? What are the miseries of air, water? What are the miseries of you know soil, land? What are the miseries of water, air, water, everything, fire? So, in order to understand that particular situation, again, you have a very little bit idea about it. Like the plants, they're constantly engaged with diseases, which can be seen in their leaves, in their trunk, in their in their shafts. Everywhere you can see that. They constantly go on with a lot of changes in them. Uh, but with other kind of jeev, you really don't know, and we cannot understand what kind of pain they have. So I'd like to bifurcate the miseries into two types. One is, a physical misery, and second one is a mental misery. So those, like for us or Sanghi Panchendriya Jeev, physical miseries are only important once we have not processed them, right? So our pain is bigger. Why our pain is bigger? Because um, once stuck in the physical part, we just cannot come out of it. We cannot understand it. But our miseries are very little. Actually, our miseries are very little because we are able to contemplate, we are able to understand, we are able to process it. But with Ekendriya, Doendriya, Teenendriya, the Asangi category, they have two types of miseries. First misery is the mental misery. What is the mental misery? That they do not have a thing which is called as mind, or which is called as heart. Mind, though you can say that every organism in this world has a brain, but then it's the heart. Uh, it's a it's a heart which plays a vital role. So um, that way, the greatest misery to them is they really cannot process information, and hence the misery is bigger. So mental misery, and second one is the physical misery, which is extreme. Every human is going to use them for some or the other purpose. Every person is going to use them for some or the other purpose. Like if I want to make a medicine, who is going to be the greatest best target for it? Again, Tiryanch Gati. If I want to eat something, who's the target? Tiryanch Gati Jeev. If I want to, enjoy the pleasures of life, sceneries, tourism, again, Tiryanch Gati Jeev, they pay for it. So the basic idea is the whole world is revolving around this Tiryanch Gati Jeev, and uh, with us, the physical misery is not that important. We can come out of it, but we choose not to come out of it, and hence we land to such places where Tiryanch situation is higher. And counter part of this particular thing is that with them, one, they don't have the mind to process it, and second, their physical situations are also very extreme, extremely difficult to uh, understand, and to in the same situation, if you are there, and in the same situation, if a plant, or if a if other beings are there, so you can process it, and go beyond your body to your body will have an effect over it, but then you can go beyond it, like our sadhus, arikas, shravikas, they tend to come out of it. But with Tiryanch Gati Jeev, they really cannot come out of it. That it's a very, very difficult thing, and because of this, plants, the effect of the whole surrounding on plants is very quick. The effect on air is very quick. The effect on fire is very quick. You can see the impact of the surroundings over these particular different beings. Like there was a wonderful poem. The poem was about a mayfly. What is a mayfly? A mayfly has only one day to live. So um, it revolves around everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. It goes to one place, other place, other place, other place. It doesn't know that it is going to die the very day, but it does die that very day, and then a new life comes in the next day. So we are all like the mayfly. We don't know when we are going to die, and we just roam around in order to achieve something, in the name of achieving, in the name of gaining something in life, and hence this all situation happens. So that's that. So I hope you're able to categorize two different types of miseries. One is the physical part, the other one is the mental part. So with them, they have both the kind of miseries, but then they cannot process the mental miseries. With us, we have mental as well as physical miseries, and we can process mental miseries. And hence, it can so happen that we can make mental miseries, to a very great extent. Somebody said, you're not looking good, and you can stay in depression for 10 days just because somebody said so. Somebody said that being Jain is such a very difficult thing. How are you a Jain? You should not be a Jain. This is bad. That
Because of poor network, Sayam Bhaiya just dropped the call. Let him rejoin.
this way, there are a lot of struggles which happen with Tiryanch Gati ji, and that's that for today, I guess. Over to you, Harshil.
Thank you, Sayam Bhaiya, for this beautiful explanation to the Tiryanch Gati, the miseries, the Dukh of Tiryanch Gati. In the previous lecture, we have learned about the miseries of Narak Gati. So nobody has seen the picture of hell. Nobody has ever seen, I mean, in this bhav at least, you have not experienced how the miseries are there. What is Vetarni Nadi? But when we talk about Tiryanch Gati, it's quite what we have seen in front of our eyes. Okay, we can see people consuming non-veg. The amount of people consuming non-veg these days in the world. Also, we have seen all kind of miseries, all kind of things that are happening against all of the animals. Usually people consider certain animals as a part of animal, but other than that, they consider as like something need to be pampered, someone kept them as a pet. So all these things we are seeing in a day-to-day life. And this is not just about all those animals, but apart from that, we also learned the other classifications about Nigod, Sangi, Panchendri, Asangi. So those which we cannot see are also part of the Triyanch Gati. When we talk about all these plantation, greenery, these all come under the Tiryanch Gati. So Tiryanch Gati is not something which we can see, which we are seeing, or not just animals, but it is more than that. So in today's lecture, Sayambhya beautifully explained with the reference of Bhagavati Aradhana. And the best part about Bhaiya's research and lecture is only that he has read things between the lines. So you will get a lot of references in his lecture. And apart from the presentation, which we have already uploaded on the Jeev portal, in this lecture, you will get to know about different gathas, different slok, and their meanings, and how we have related the topic of Triyanjagati in this curriculum. So, yeah, thank you for joining the lecture. Since due to poor network, Bhaiya has already left the call. So, I will shortly describe you with the login credentials and how to access Jeev portal. I hope my screen is visible. So Jeev is a beautifully designed platform, Jain English Education and Values, where we have designed a curriculum, the courses for people to learn Jainism in English. You can firstly log in or type www.jeev.net.in on your web page, on your web, and then once you open it, you will see different tabs like resources. Under the resources segment, you will see different topics. Once you click on it, you will get access to that topic. Sorry. So you will get access to the resources of each topic. Let's say if we click on four benefactors, Char Mangal Part, you can see this window, start course. Once you start the course, you will get access to all of its resources, video presentations, and the dashboard will look like very similar to you must have used in LinkedIn Coursera lectures. And then you can select the topic, select the article, select the quiz you want to attempt. And in this way, you can complete each topic, each module, each lecture of this. All the social media handles are there. Website is www.jeev.net.in. Any queries, you can email us support@jeev.net.in. Social media handles are there. So yeah, that's all for today. Thank you everyone for joining. Chinwani Stuti. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है। इसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है, वंदना शत बार है। 9 times नमोकार मंत्र everyone.